We'll move on. Let's move on to our favorite scrambled egg dish of all time, Tua. Tua. Since his brain injury, 10 touchdowns, 0 interceptions.
Yeah, kind of wild. We don't even know if he can read defenses anymore. He might just be out there throwing the ball.
He is Pro Football Focus's #1 quarterback on the whole year. He is #1. I watched the first half of this game.
That's kind of a lot for me.
I watched most of the first half of this game, and it's just like, these guys are open. These guys are wide open.
Well, yeah, you have Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill.
And I mean,
of course they're going to be open.
He's finding him. Like, I mean, I know I've been saying this the whole year. Don't know how you feel about it. And I'm always kind of like, let's see what happens in the playoffs. Like, they obviously got enough talent. They're going to make the playoffs. And I keep saying that I'm not trusting Tua in the playoffs, but
that defense isn't good.
So, I was, and I feel like I have to be a Dolphins fan now. So last year, I told all the boys, all the people who would listen to me, I bet big on Cincinnati to make the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I don't care. Joe Burrow was a top 2, top 3 quarterback last year. I pulled up my little DraftKings app. We bet on the Bengals. Do I have to do it this year with the Dolphins? Look, it sounds crazy because it's like, you kind of look at them and you're like, but are they not Cincinnati of last year? I mean, you had Jamar Chase. You had T. Higgins.
They don't have any sort of threat out of the backfield, though. Like the Bengals
No,
did.
I mean, like, they have Jeff Wilson, but I also, if you look at Joe Mixon's numbers from last year, they weren't that good. He had touchdowns, but I don't know.
No, but
and they did beat up on a Houston Texans team, but I don't know. I'm almost to the point now where if I was supporting the Bengals, like, I have to support the Dolphins,
but
right?
Look how many points the Texans scored against them.
15.
Yeah, with
Kyle Allen.
Yeah, what?
Kyle Allen, yep.
What?
Yep.
That's what worries me. That defense isn't good. It's not good.
I don't know.
They got a lot of big names that just don't seem to perform.
Yeah.
They spent a lot of money. They a lot of draft capital spent to bolster that defense.
Well, I mean, yeah. Their defensive line is Wilkins, Chubb, Ingram, Jalen Phillips. I mean, that's on paper stacked.
Yeah. And they just don't perform.
I guess I don't know. I don't know. I am kind of now, I feel like I have to bet on the Dolphins. I feel like that's where I am at this point. Give it time till the end of the year because Joe Burrow was #2 over the course of the year. So
Joe makes the, I don't know.
Right?
Joe makes the play. Joe makes the play.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tua.
I don't know. I guess going by my formula that I did last year, I bet on Joe Burrow.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense based off of what you're saying.
Right.
But Tua's not Joe Burrow. He's not.
Isn't he this year, though?
No. He doesn't make that big play.
It's tough because Joe Burrow's playing very well this year.
Yeah, but Tua doesn't make that play like Joe did.
Does he have to?
At some point, you have to.
I mean, I feel like future-wise, obviously Chase, but Tyreek Hill, Jamar Chase, Waddle, T. Higgins. I don't know. I'm just saying. I am starting to become a believer because it's like week after week, Tua had 278 yards at halftime. At what point do we stop shitting on him, if you will? At what point do we believe in Tua? Are we ever going to? Does he have to win?
Too.
Keep talking about the Dolphins for a second. I'm just going to pull up their schedule here.
Well, I don't know. The AFC East has been awfully weird. Obviously, Allen hasn't been healthy for most of the year.
So to close the season, at the 49ers, at the Chargers.
Good luck. That should be a good game.
At the Bills.
Okay.
Home against your boys, the Green Bay Packers. At the New England Patriots. And then they close the season home against the Jets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So right now that's 6 opponents. 5. Sorry, Green Bay.
5
5 that are potential playoff teams.
In New England's going to be interesting.
If they go 4-2, do we believe in them? If they're 12-5, they're 13-4. Like where do you at the end of the season where you believe in Tua? Where you're like, yeah, this guy's the real deal. Because
if they make it to the Super Bowl, I don't think he's that good.
It's tough because they did lose to the Bengals, but have they lost when Tua was the starter? Started and finished the game. They haven't, right?
No, I don't believe they have.
Right?
It doesn't. Not that I can think of.
Right. So I'm just throwing it out there.
I don't know.
I'm just throwing it out there that
he's a great inspiration for that locker room. He's great for that locker room.
If they beat the 49ers and the Chargers, they're going to be two rough, tough home games. If they lose,
I don't see them beating the Niners.
If they lose to the Bills at Buffalo, not a big deal. They shouldn't lose to the Packers. If they lose at New England early January 1st, that's not a huge deal to me because they're not. When they go in the playoffs, they're probably not going to play in that weather unless it's Bills at home. But
yeah,
I'm just saying.
It's not out of the question.
I'm sure
I'll tell you that it's not out of the question.
Next week, I think we'll have a much better answer. But if he goes in there and he torches the 49ers, right? Okay, I'm just throwing it out there. The man's undefeated. 10 touchdowns, 0 interceptions since he's come back. Tyreek Hill is a monster.
I saw the stat. Jimmy Garoppolo also has the best starting record. He's tied with Steve Young, I believe it was, through 50 games.
Yep. Better record to any Notre Dame fans listening. Better starting record than Joe Montana. Yeah. Just throwing it out there.
That's also what I'm going to say.
Just throwing it out there, yeah. I'm not saying you're right. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just wondering as a...
No, I get it.
At Josh Brunette, when does the Miami Tuas get your respect? That's all I'm wondering.
This is going to be a week. This is going to be game time decision every week, I think.